Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to use AirDNA as a host to manage your listing and check out the competition. So no matter where you are in the app, you're going to come to this top corner and select My Listings. And here you'll see all of the Airbnb listings you currently have connected to AirDNA. If you need to connect a new listing and it's brand new, you'll see a different page here, but if you already have some set up, you're just going to come to Connect Account and it'll walk you through the process. But once you're on this page, again, you'll see all of the listings you have connected. You'll see basic information about that listing. You'll have the ability to manage the listing. If you click comp set, it'll take you right to setting up your comp set. And once you have that set, you'll get a quick view of how you're trending, this top line, versus your competition, this bottom line, for your future occupancy, booked rates, and booking lead time for the next 12 months into the future. And then an overall performance score of how you are doing compared to your competition. So let's check out Manage Listing. Here you'll see more details for this particular listing, like the photos. You'll see your future occupancy rate, average daily rate, and booking lead time for the next 12 months into the future. And again, here's your performance score. So then when we scroll down, the first place you'll land is in our Smart Rates calendar, which is our dynamic pricing recommendation tool. So this is your booking calendar. You'll see the dates that are already booked, the dates that are available, and any dates you have blocked. And then these numbers are our recommended rates for this listing for a particular day. It takes into account day of the week, seasonality, demand, booking lead time, everything specific to this market and this listing. So you can see what we think would be the best rate for that day. And if you want to get a little bit more nuanced, you can come up into settings. And here you can set what type of base rate you'd like. Do you want to be more conservative, nice and balanced, or if you want to be a little bit more aggressive? You can also set your own custom base rate. You can set minimum and maximum rates so that the prices never go below or above a certain spot. And then percentage discounts for gap days to make those days a little bit more enticing to potential guests. So once you set all of this, your rates will change to always give you the best recommended rate for every day. The next thing you can do as a host is come in and set up your comp set. So this lets you see at a glance all the competition, so you don't have to click through Airbnb and Vrbo and try to get all of this information about everyone. So you can see the other listings, their key details, how far away they are, their average occupancy over the past 12 months, average daily rate, and their revenue. And then how good of a match it is compared, depending on like bedrooms, bathrooms, your filters, which we'll go through in a minute. And then these numbers are the average, and then it's the median for annual revenue. But these are the average numbers for all of the comp sets you have selected. So the average occupancy rate, ADR, revenue, and then how well they match this particular listing. So let's take a quick look at these filters. This lets you really hone in your comp set. So let me reset this so you can see what it'll look like. But you can set the number of bedrooms you want to compare to, the number of bathrooms. If you only have 2 bathrooms, you don't want to be comparing to 6. How many people the home accommodates, how far away you'd like to look. So if you have a very crowded market, you might want to tighten that up to be just the homes right next to you. The rating, again, if you're very highly rated, you only want to compare to other highly rated. And then the reviews is a good way to kind of weed out the people who are brand new or the people who have been in this game for a very, very long time. Maybe they rent for a shorter minimum stay than you do, and they just have a lot more guests. So you can take out those top extremes. And then the amenities is where you get really, really detailed. So you can say that every comp that gets pulled must have a washer in the home, or that you don't want to be compared to people who have a hot tub or a pool because you don't. If someone is really looking for a pool, you're not going to be a good fit for that guest. So you can come in and really customize this to be exactly who you want to compare to. You hit apply and it'll adjust to these comps. Now you can compare to absolutely everyone, all 100 that we pull for you based on this criteria, or you can scroll through and take a look. You'll always know your area better than any sort of software will, so you can weed out people. For instance, this particular listing does not have an ocean view, so I don't want to be compared to them. So just scroll through, figure out who you do or don't want to be compared to based on what you know of your area. And then you'll see that as these boxes are checked or unchecked, the averages will change. And then you just hit save and it'll always be here for you. So this is great so that you can see what the averages are for your area. And then if you're doing better or worse, what you might need to adjust. Once our comp set is all where you want it, then you can come into comp set pacing. And this is going to show you what is happening over the next, 30 days, 60 days, 180 days. So you can get a good idea of what's happening on the market. We have several charts on this page. So you have what are guests willing to pay for future days. This shows you how many listings have already been booked and what the median rate that they were booked for. So in this case, on August 31st, 35 listings have already been booked out of my comp set. That's a 48% occupancy rate. And the average rate that people were booking these homes for was $356. So if your rate is a little higher than that, maybe you want to lower it. There's less inventory on the market, so maybe you want to keep your rate where it is. You can make that smart decision because you can see what is actually happening in your market for the next, again, month, 2 months, 6 months from now. You also have the ability to see if your listing price is matching what people are willing to pay. So this orange line is your rate for any given day. The green dotted line is the average available rate for your comp set. And the blue line is the average rate for any listings that have already been booked. You can also check the box to see booked rates for the previous year to see if rates are generally higher, lower, or about in line with where they were the year before. Next, you have the view to see how your listing stacks up against the competition. Another way to see where your nightly rates are standing. Again, the green line here is your rate versus the blue line, which is our recommended smart rates. Again, that's that dynamic pricing tool. You also have a view of the average market rate, which is going to take into account every listing on the market, not just your comp set. And then finally, you do have your comp set view. And last, we have how far in advance are guests booking. This is going to show you that booking lead time breakdown. And this does stack. So, 5 people have booked in the last 7 days, 19 people have booked in the last 30 days, and that includes those 5 people, and so on and so forth. So you can kind of get an idea of, does your market get more last minute bookings? Are you getting booked way in advance? And how are things changing, immediately versus 6 months in the future, so that you can plan accordingly and you can kind of decide when you want to adjust your rates. So that's how you use AirDNA as a host. You can also use a lot of the great tools in the Explore section, which is another video, and you can find that in our Help Center for a full breakdown of what all of these charts show you. I hope that helps, and happy listing.